of our broken hearts. We've all regretted and we've all felt joy, and we've lived through interesting times. We've all lived life, and we've all got the gift of language and communication, so we have material for our own great stories. I am Lesley Ann. I hail from South Africa. My accent flip-flops all the time, so forgive me if that happens. It's banana and it's tomato, and who knows what'll come out. I am a ghost writer, and it's not about the supernatural. When you go into the bookstores and you see celebrities and they've now written their book and then they appear on Larry King Live and yes, I'm now an author. Well, actually, they did not literally write their book. They dictated to someone who's sitting in the back of the limo, the ghostwriter, taking notes, taking recordings, engineering the book, and finding the core of the story and writing it for them. And that's what I've been doing for many, many years. Very, very interested in people's life stories. And you asked earlier, I can't really say who, it wouldn't really matter, but it's not fair to the person who I've ghostwritten for. They have complete authorship of the book. A couple of them have got my name in it, but I have written for a wide sort of myriad of people and really enjoyed each and every one of them. But while I was writing my last story with somebody who was a comedian, people kept, over the years, people kept on saying to me, I wish you could write my story. You talk about writing your mom's story. I wish I could. My aunt has a wonderful story. And I really decided there and then that I wasn't going to work for one client at a time anymore, that I want to give people the tools to write their own stories. And so this is why I created this whole workbook, to do that. So let me ask any of you, you talked a little bit about writing. Some of you did say that you had started journaling. I think we've kind of covered that. If anyone didn't say that in their intro, is there anyone else who has started writing or does journal? You've actually, I can't remember.
I have a journal.
You have a journal and you write in it, and what does that do for you? It's just...
well, it's good. It kind of helps me figure out my baby's growth. Because at first, like my wife, we're pretty far away from all of our family.
Right.
And so then I can go and I can read back and figure out what I did at that stage and moving on.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it's good. Last night I was just reading like something I'd written in the first month of her birth, and so it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Just 6 months ahead. So.
Yes. Incredible. So to keep a reference. That's wonderful. Anyone else? You have started to write then?
Yeah, I've been writing since I've been encountering challenges. I find it, of course, I started writing my experiences in life, the good ones.
Yeah.
I'm thinking when I get old, I have this grandmother, I can recite them. And
yes. Okay.
Just what you don't do.
Great.
You. And then I started progressing. I started encountering challenges, and I just started to write just to have something to refer to and take it down.
Right.
Just the problem is keeping it from going on.
Okay. For different reasons. You're right. I'll talk about that. Okay. So tonight, Max did about an hour. So I don't know. When I go to a workshop, I kind of like to know what I'm in for. So this is very sort of roughly. We talk a little bit about why to write your story, and then how to. And then I'll talk a little bit about the workbook, and then 10 minutes of question and answers. So we'll group it all together nicely. Now, during this presentation, I will be using, every now and then I'll be using a quote, and I have lots of quotes in the book. They're quotes from what people have written. Some of the quotes may be mine personally, and I can tell you if they are, but don't think all the quotes are about me, because then you might think I'm some kind of weirdo. So that's how we'll go. I'll be using, we'll just go along. I've kind of picked out, this is a creative workshop. This is the creative part of writing your life story. So I've just picked out little bits and pieces to present to you tonight. Of course, the book is chock-a-block with all sorts of other things. So we'll begin with why write your story. Why should you write your story? Some of us have touched on that a little bit already. To discover and solve mysteries. Sometimes, well, as you start to write, a lot of things get uncovered. And you may discover that you yourself are actually one of those people that you didn't like in the first place. You could be just like your mother, and that could be really frustrating, or your father for you. And you may get to solve some mysteries. Louis Chisholm, there's a book that is going around. In fact, I'll just pass that around. About 3 books ago, I did that. 2 books ago, I did that life history. Now, Lou, when I refer to Lou, we were writing his life story. He had 13 brothers and sisters. They came from Scotland. They lived in Nova Scotia on the farm. Dirt poor, rich story. Fantastic book. And anyway, all along the lines with all these relatives, because of course his parents all had 13 brothers and sisters too, etc. So he always talked about Aunt Mary. And they moved from the farm to Harbour Road in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, and Aunt Mary came, and all throughout his book, Aunt Mary was there. Only when he started to write his life story, he tried to fit her into his genealogy, and she was not at all related. She was just his mom's friend. So it was really, really interesting, things that you can uncover. At last I understand why my great-grandfather abandoned the orchard. Can you see the slide? Just let me know.
Actually, you can sit wherever you like because I'm not going to take any photographs.
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay. You write your story to look at things from different angles. No 2 people see things the same way. Especially brothers and sisters. They see their parents in a completely different light. And they see things from you see things from who you are at the time and where you are at the time. For example, my brother and my father are close. They both like sport. When I talk to my dad about my music band, he always asks me stuff like, who's the best guitar player in Toronto? Which Canadian band has had the most hits? You can see that son is not connecting with dad like the other son is with his sport. Your writing will show you how you perceive life. Are we all complex human beings with predetermined missions? Or are we just a bunch of potheads here for a big party? This will all come out in your writing. You write your story to get things off your chest and to heal. This lady here talked about that earlier. Writing your life story is not about creating literature. It's about plugging into yourself in order to switch on and begin to heal. Those feelings that we have, we crawl under them often, we climb over them and sidestep them, but if they're not acknowledged or expressed, they can eat us up inside. Even if it's not to someone, it might be private writing, but at least to have it out. Yeah. Karen remembers, I was mean to my grandpa just before he died. So I wrote him a letter and I threw it in the fire. I felt such relief after that. I hear that a lot. I am also a bereavement, I conduct bereavement groups for teenagers and young adults. I hear that a lot, especially teenagers, because they're just breaking away from their parent and then their parent dies. So oftentimes, how do I now feel better about being mean to them? So that's I hear that a lot from them. To make a stand, of course, this is a biggie. Get tired of people telling us what to do, what to think, and how we should conduct ourselves. When you write your story, you have the podium. You can tell it like you want to tell it. It's your opportunity to tell the world who you were and what you've done, who you are now, and what you plan to do. Because autobiographies are also about who you are, a lot about who you are now, and how you see the future. It's a big part of what self-discovery. It's an opportunity to plant both feet in the ground and say, this is me.